Leigh Ann Lane is the author of 2 books, 9 Million Minutes, and The So Awkward Journal, which is a self-help book about people being shy, which is awesome. Now let's actually start with the 9 Million Minutes, which
Okay.
is actually a contemporary romance novel,
Right.
is the way you have it described. But I actually read it. And, you know, being a guy and stuff, I think when I first ordered it, you were a little bit telling, because we know each other from the Jeep network on Facebook, which we'll talk about later. But you said, you know, it's a romance novel. But actually, it's really cool because I think guys will be into it because it's got some mystery to it, which is awesome. You
Right.
know?
I was
So,
surprised because I've had a number of guys order it just because, they knew me from the Jeep Mafia. And I thought, oh, God, I didn't write it thinking that a guy would read it at all. But I think because it's not like one of your, what do you think of a foo-foo romance novel? It's got some mystery to it. And a lot of it is from the guy's point of view,
yeah, yeah.
the guy character's point of view. So I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was awesome. And of course you do talk about Jeeps, you know, so I enjoyed that part quite a bit. But, all right, so tell me how this book came about and how you got into the romance novel writing.
Okay, well, probably different than what most people would say, most authors, because I never in a million years even thought about being an author. Never crossed my mind. I mean, I've always been good at English. I write at work. I write policy manuals and training materials. So I like to write, but never thought about writing a book. But I had a dream, and it wasn't even really a dream. It wasn't like a story dream. It was just almost an image. And when I woke up, that image, I couldn't get it out of my mind. And it was driving me insane. For probably 30 days, that's all I could think about. And my head just kind of started writing a story about it, and I just had to get it out. So I decided, well, I'm going to write a book.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And that whole story was started in the dream?
Right. Just the dream was just an image. And the funny thing is, as I wrote the story, by the time I got to that scene, I almost had to create a scene to have that image in it, because that's what started the book. And I thought, well, that scene has to be in the book.
Right, right. Okay, cool. And what else did you base it on? Did you base it on other people that you know in your life or yourself, or obviously the Jeep, but
Right. Obviously. And I didn't have the Jeep when I started writing the novel. I had a red Jeep, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, the Jeep just, I think part of what came out was that when I got my Jeep, it changed my life, basically. I mean, that sounds silly, and anyone who doesn't drive a Jeep is like, whatever. But it made me feel younger and freer and just more outgoing even. And so I kind of crafted the story around that, because in the story, my character Kricket gets a Jeep, and she sets out on a journey to overcome shyness and be
Right.
more.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I based it on that.
Wow, very cool. So, oh, so you didn't even have the lime green Jeep when you first started this?
No, I didn't. And getting a Jeep is actually an odd thing too, because how that happened, my husband and I went to the grocery store, and on the way back, there was this red Jeep parked in the bank parking lot. It was for sale, just someone had parked it up there on a Sunday. And he pulled in the parking lot, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "You told me you wanted to look at this Jeep." No, I didn't. I'd never even seen the Jeep sitting there. So that was really weird. So I kind of went with it and called the owner, drove it. It was a two-door, it was too small. It seemed really small, but it kind of got me hooked. So I went to the dealer and drove the JKU four-door, and I had to have one.
Mm.
So I got a red one. Here's why. they had the gecko green at that time. This was 2013, but not knowing anything about Jeeps, we thought it would be hard to resell because, you know, in any other car, a lime green would be impossible to resell. But
Right.
who knew that, you know, the odd colors that they don't make that many of, they actually go for a higher price when you go to try to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
I found that out when I decided I needed a green Jeep instead of the red one.
Right. Right. Oh, wow. Very cool. Very cool. So then, so did you have the lime green Jeep when you wrote about it, or did you get it after?
I got it about probably halfway through the book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I know.
Yeah. So it is a main character. It's actually on the front cover and everything. Is the Jeep. Very cool. So you say that the Jeep kind of changed you. That's interesting too. That probably brings us to your second book, the So Awkward Journal, and overcoming shyness. So did that kind of take place with that as well?
Well, yeah, I grew up extremely shy. I mean, extremely shy. And over the years, I didn't purposely try to overcome it because when you're shy, you really don't think that way. But over many years, I realized that I had overcome it. And kind of thinking about what I had done was to just gradually take baby steps outside my comfort zone and try different things. And so I incorporated that into the book, into the novel. And then as I was writing the novel, I thought, well, you know, I talk about Kricket, my main character, going through this journal. I should write the journal. You know, someone who reads a novel might think, oh, well, I'd like to have a journal like that. So I wrote the journal just immediately after I finished the novel.
Excellent, excellent. And I like the way that's set up because it's kind of like helps people to do the steps, and it's more of a actual journal where people are doing steps in order to move forward and become less shy and stuff. So what is your message to people who consider themselves shy or don't or should or shouldn't? What's the message usually?
Well, the message is, you know, there's a difference between an introvert and someone who's shy. An introvert is someone who just enjoys time alone by themselves. That's how they regroup. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. I'm an introvert. I have to have my time alone. Being shy, though, is where you're just uncomfortable in social situations, and that can affect your life. And so to the point that affects your life and keeps you from enjoying things that you want to be doing, that's where you need to try to overcome that. It's not a bad thing to be shy. It's just internally uncomfortable to be in situations. And so typically you avoid those type situations.
Right, right. Okay. So do you think so people can be shy and still be successful and stuff is
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But
Just
there's
taking the right steps to make it happen where it doesn't affect your situation.
right. And to do that, you just have to gradually expose yourself to varying degrees of what I'll call scariness. That's what I call it in my journal. It's what's scary to you. And that's why I set up the journal to be steps that you can take. Each page is a step, and you can choose whichever step. You don't have to go in order because different people, different things scare them more than others. I mean, something new you have to learn gradually, and it's going to be uncomfortable. So you have to take tiny steps outside your comfort zone until you get comfortable doing that, and then you can take another step. But you can't go from point A to point B very quickly because you've got to gradually introduce yourself to those scary situations. So the journal is set up so that, and I have it right here, so that each page is a step. And you can go through and decide which step you want to try today. And based on how scary it is to you, you start with some easy steps for you. So if you are so extremely shy, perhaps that you can't even pick up the phone and call and order a pizza without getting so nervous that you'll forget what to say, then you're going to pick a different step to start with than someone who's just uncomfortable, say, at a party with people they don't know. So it's got a lot of very easy steps. A lot of them you don't even do with someone else. They're just to help you get comfortable doing something before you try speaking to someone, for example.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Now, is this your line of study, or have you researched? How did you come about the book, in other words?
It really is from my own personal experience. I did look at some other workbooks, books about overcoming shyness. And the reason I crafted mine the way I did is because I didn't want you to have to read about it. I wanted you to be able to actually take some steps. And a lot of people are into journaling these days. So the steps also include a piece where you can write, how did you feel about that? So you take the step and you write, how did I feel about that? How will I do that differently next time? Or how did that change my life so that I can take another step?
Excellent. Excellent. And so it really came about with starting with the initial book and then determining that that was a possibility of people needing that extra step. Excellent. Excellent. So what about with social media and stuff? How do you feel people are doing as far as that goes?
I started a social media Twitter account with, actually I started one as an author, and it was so boring because the only people who follow you are authors and they want to talk about their books. I started another one with the So Awkward Journal, and I post steps or tips or encouragement on there, and it gained some followers. It was so exciting when I would get a direct message from someone who said, I tried your tip and it helped me so much.
Nice.
That made me feel so good because I don't have a lot of followers. I have about 1,200 followers, but they're involved followers, and I'm helping those. And there are times when I think, oh, this is really okay. I got one like on that post. Is it really worth it? But then I'll get a message from someone that says, I tried that and it really helped me.
Excellent. Excellent. So with social media, do you feel that people are becoming less shy or more shy?
Honestly, I think it helps us become more shy. We're able to hide behind our words. Well, in a sense, it makes you more shy when you are involved with people, but it also lets you come out of your shell a little bit with the written word because you're not face to face, and that's not quite as scary for someone who's shy. So I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, yep. So it get people out of their shell a little bit, but maybe face to face, your journal will kind of help them go that next step.
Right.
That's awesome. Very good. Very good. So tell me a little bit about, besides being an author and stuff, what else do you do in real life?
Well, in real life, I do financial education workshops out in the community at schools, workplaces. I do a lot at universities. So I go out and tell people how to build their credit, manage their money, avoid identity theft, anything financial. I work for a bank, and we have this program, which I was lucky enough to be asked to start this program about 7 years ago. And so I've developed the curriculum. We've got a lot of online content, and then the workshops themselves.
Oh, interesting. So you go up and speak with people, and do you do on stage and all that?
Oh, yes. Yes. I speak anywhere, from a grade school class of 35 to an auditorium of 300. So coming from being someone who was extremely shy, none of my family would have ever believed that I would actually be a public speaker. Sometimes I can't believe it, but I love it.
Yeah, so you did that. Wow, so that was a big step, and that's probably something that you talk about as well often is getting in front of people and making the leap of faith to public speaking. That's great.
Right, right. And I incorporated a little bit of the public speaking arena into the novel.
Right. Excellent. Yes, yes. I remember that. Very nice. So okay, so now tell me a little bit about the Jeep Mafia because you started that, I believe, right? With
Well, I was one of four who started it. Actually, Jeep Boss is what, you know, his Twitter name is, Chris Stockmar on Facebook. He started it and he contacted me and said, hey, let's start this group. And didn't really know what we wanted to do, but we just started the Jeep Mafia and really didn't have any goals, just, you know, got some friends together on Twitter and started calling us the Jeep Mafia. And we started out with 12 people.
wow.
And then it grew to 24. And we actually didn't even have a Twitter page at that time. We just all had our individual Twitter pages. And so finally, we just opened a Twitter page, and we have, I think, 18,000 followers now. We've moved over to Facebook. We did that a year ago in November, and we have 10 or 12,000 followers on Facebook, and very interactive.
Wow. Wow. And they're from all over the country. You're from Oklahoma. I'm from
Right.
Long Island. But you have them all. Do you have every single state, you know, if you're representing?
You know, I think, well, we did just have one person in Idaho, but I think we have one now. We don't have a whole lot up in the north, the mid-north area, but we have people in Australia, England. We have a
Wow.
number across the world.
Oh, across the world even. Okay. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. And then the whole, I have one over there, a cozy.
Oh,
The whole
right.
cozy thing. Explain that a
Yeah,
little bit, if you would.
that was something that we didn't even plan. One of our founding four ordered some koozies, what we call them, and it had our Jeep Mafia logo on there, and sent them to, I think it was the 12 uh, initial members, and sent us, you know, half a dozen or so. Well, Gerard Czechia, also known as Return Check on Twitter, one day I think he was at his apartment and he saw a Jeep across the parking lot, and he just on a whim went and put the koozie in under the windshield wiper.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he could see the Jeep from his apartment. And so he watched when the girl came out, and she saw the koozie and she took it off and she got in her Jeep, and then she got back out and put it back and took a picture of it.
Oh.
So we thought, you know what a great idea. We had cards, we had business cards at the time that we would put on Jeeps. We thought, what a great idea. Koozies are cheap. And so we just started putting them on Jeeps, and we added our Facebook page and, you know, our information, and it's just gone crazy.
Mm-hmm. So people are buying them on the site and
Yeah.
then going around their hometowns and putting them on, right?
Yes, and it's so much fun because they may join our page and they may come in and say, hey, you completely made my day. You know, we've had them say, I was at the hospital visiting my mother, and I walked out, I was dead tired, I'd been there all day, and there was a koozie on my Jeep, and it completely made my day. And that's the reason we do it. We just want to tell people, hey, we see you're a Jeeper, we're a Jeeper too, nice Jeep, make your day.
Right. Nice, nice. So now the Jeep Mafia is open to anybody who owns a Jeep, right?
Right. We take in all Jeepers. You know, we're not just off-roading Jeepers. We're not just Wranglers or XJs. We take all Jeepers. So we are different than a lot of groups because we want everyone to come to the Jeep Mafia, and we don't allow any sort of criticism of others' Jeeps or anyone else. We boot them out quickly if they do that. So I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of the other pages.
Right. And basically trying to keep it positive and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. Okay. So where can people find information about you and about your books and all that?
Well, I have a website, and it's leighanlane.com.
Okay.
And my name's spelled a little weird. It's Leigh, so it's leighanlane.com. My books are both available. I have them here. Both available on Amazon. You can get the novel you can get in Kindle version, but the journal isn't in Kindle version because it's a journal, so it has to be a printed copy.
To write into it, yeah. Very
Yeah.
good. Good. And you do quite a bit of blogging actually on your website as well, right?
I do some blogging. I need to do a little more actually.
We all do, yeah. That's
Yes.
okay. What do you usually, when you get the opportunity, what do you usually blog about on the website?
It's about anything shy. The one that actually I'm planning on writing shortly is how to interview as a shy person. You know, the importance of promoting yourself. That's very hard to do when you're shy. And that one kind of came to mind because I recently hired 6 positions, and so I interviewed a lot of people, you know, for 6 positions. And so
So you mean job interviewing?
yes,
Yeah, very good.
yes,
Very
job
good.
interviews. And so I thought, you know, I need to write a blog on that. It would be helpful for everyone, but especially for shy people, because people have a tendency not to want to give enough information about themselves in an interview.
Right. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Yeah, that would be handy for a lot of people.
Right.
Good. Anything else that's in the works that you're currently writing?
Yes, actually, I have 2 things going right now. I started my 2nd novel on January 1st, and it's going to be the main character is going to be Victoria, who is a secondary character in the 1st novel. So I want to tell her backstory.
Good.
And then I also am working, actually today, what I'm working on is a workshop for the journal. It's an overcoming shyness workshop. I've been wanting to do one and just didn't really have the audience for it. And it just kind of popped up last week that someone who is putting on a women's conference here in the city asked me to do a financial workshop. And so I saw on her flyer that had other topics available. And so I said, hey, would you like a workshop on overcoming shyness? And so she said yes. And it's 3 weeks away. So I had to get busy to get it written.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. So an actual workshop on how to do that.
Right.
Wow, very good. Very good. Huh. Is that unique? Has other people done that before? Or?
I've never seen one. You know, I've seen interpersonal relationship workshops, but I've really never seen one on overcoming shyness. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm having a lot of fun writing it.
Right. Yeah, good for you. I like that idea. Very cool. Good. Okay. Perfect. Did I miss anything? Did you want to add anything? Or?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah. All right. Great. It's so nice to meet you. I appreciate your time. All right. I'm gonna be ready. Okay, Leigh Ann Lane is the author of 2 books, the 9 million minutes. 9 million minutes. Let me say that again. Leigh Ann Lane is the author of 2 books, 9 million minutes, and the So Awkward Journal, which is a self-help book about people being shy.